Through my 8 years at university, I've done an undergrad and postgraduate degree and have recently finished my medical school exams, so I've studied some of the hardest subjects for thousands of hours. I'm Salim and I've made many productivity and study mistakes over the years, but I've finally found what really works for productivity, so I can study and still do all the other things I care about in life. So in this video, I have the 5 most important no BS rules for productivity, so you can learn in just a few minutes what's taken me years to realize. And the last is something that most people aren't honest with, so stick around until the end. So the first rule is that consistency is better than strategy. Multiple strategies can help you achieve your goals, but if you don't stick to one of them consistently, you definitely won't make any progress. All you need is a good plan, not a perfect plan. And then it's about executing on the plan effectively. The difference between people that are successful and those that aren't is not about how much they think, it's about how much they do. You can spend a lot of time trying to calculate the perfect work strategy, but at some point you're wasting too much time thinking rather than doing. Your plans get better over time as you take action and see what works and what doesn't. You learn how to play the game better as a player, not as someone watching from the sidelines. This is a problem I see a lot of people in the comments have, where they keep trying new things but never stick to any one thing because they always think there's something better. But if you just get on with one thing for now, then you'd be significantly ahead than if you keep going around in circles. So if you're constantly watching study YouTube and asking everyone else what they're doing, take a step back and stick to the plan you already have. It's likely good enough as a starting point to work towards something if you keep consistent. The next rule is very important for making sure that your plan is actually working. And this rule is that what gets measured gets managed. If you want to make progress, whether it's in your work, gym, or relationships, you need metrics to check whether you're going in the right direction. If it's work or study related, measure your grades in past paper tests or question banks. If it's gym, measure your lifts or your weight on the scales. If it's relationships, measure how often you see your friends or how often you call them. Once you start tracking and set an aim for what you want, then you automatically adjust how much you invest into it. So if you're not on track for progress, you'll know that you need to change your behavior slightly. But if you don't measure anything, you will have no idea where you are relative to your goals, and you won't get into the autocorrections to stay on track. It's like doing a past paper for an exam you need to score 80% on, but you never find out what score you got. Only when you see the mistakes can you learn and adjust. So whatever goals you have to find a few metrics to measure the progress regularly, and then that itself will keep you on track. And one app that does this better than any other is our sponsor of the video, Brilliant, the best learning app to help you get smarter every day with thousands of interactive lessons in math, science, programming, data analysis, and AI. Each lesson on Brilliant is carefully crafted by an award-winning team of teachers, researchers, and professionals from top institutions such as Stanford and MIT, which makes sense because of how perfectly balanced each lesson is in testing your critical thinking and problem solving, whilst making it enjoyable through its interactive learning approach. And this hands-on problem solving that lets you play with the concepts is a method proven to be 6 times more effective than watching lecture videos. And because Brilliant has a leaderboard system and keeps track of your streak, it's the perfect way to add a daily habit, as it keeps you accountable by comparing you with other users in your rank, motivating you to climb up the ladder. One thing I've began a few weeks ago is the scientific thinking course. Even though I'm done with med school exams, I realized I enjoy learning about scientific things in general, whether it's about the mechanics of simple machines to the physics of black holes. Doing this course on Brilliant helped improve my scientific intuition and helped me better understand exactly how modern technologies work, helping me build real knowledge on specific subjects whilst also making me into a better thinker. And because it teaches you from the ground up and can be done in just a few minutes a day, even on your phone, there's something for you, even if you're a beginner wanting to become an expert. So to try everything Brilliant has to offer free for a full 30 days, visit brilliant.org/Salim Ahmed or scan the QR code on screen, or you can click the link in the description. You'll also get 20% off an annual premium subscription. The next rule is actually very counterintuitive, but it's the reason why I've been able to learn even outside of study time. The third rule is that the more dumb you act, the smarter you become. What I mean by this is that you need to drop your ego and become curious. The dumbest person in the room is the one who thinks he knows everything and is too complacent. Only the smart person knows that they virtually know nothing because there's so much more to know. So don't be scared to ask dumb questions, get people to explain things to you, and ask people what they did to learn something. No one person is wiser than a group of people, so drop your ego and talk to the people who are doing better than you in the area you want to improve on. I found myself asking ChatGPT a lot of dumb questions, but I do it because I know that I can get a very simplified answer, which helps me fully understand what I'm learning, instead of just memorizing a piece of information without actually understanding it. The next rule is really important to make sure that you don't burn out like I have multiple times over the years. And this fourth rule is to treat yourself like a muscle, not like a machine. Machines can stay plugged in all night and do the same efficiency of work 24/7. Humans aren't like that. We're made of organic systems like a muscle. When you go to the gym to grow your muscle, you challenge it for a session during the day, then you prioritize rest and recovery to help it grow back stronger. This is how you need to treat your productivity. You must stay in touch with the balance between work and rest. You can't expect to work 16 hours a day every day. You might be able to do that for a couple of days, but then you will always crash. Just like a muscle, at a certain point after enough working sets, you reach failure and you just can't lift anything anymore. So the key thing is to organize recovery periods around your work periods. You know when you feel energized to sit down and work. This is usually after you've had enough rest. So manage your recovery periods so you can always feel like that every day. And I don't mean scrolling on Instagram as a break. I mean real restful activities like walks and speaking to your friends. And the final rule is an overall theme that you need to keep in mind in whatever work you are doing. And this fifth rule is that you only need the basics to succeed. Stop looking for shiny objects, like the new popular study technique that is supposed to solve all of your problems. It's just like when you're trying to lose weight and get in shape. Most people get distracted by fad diets and the new secrets of weight loss, or some weird supplement that's supposed to speed up your metabolism. People that get wrapped up in that never make any progress. But the basics are eat less than you burn and eat whole foods so you don't get hungry. Those are the basics and they aren't particularly interesting, but if you apply them, you get results. It's the same for studying. Do the basics, active recall, spaced repetition, understand the why rather than just memorizing. If you do these basics, that will be all you need. So stop getting distracted by fashions going in and out. Focus on the classics that you know work. I've actually repeated the same point in a previous video, but it's because this really is the core of it. It's how I've been able to stay consistent in everything I do and make the progress I've made so far. Those are the 5 most important rules I can give to someone to stop them having to learn them the hard way as I did. But the problem is, these are general themes for studying, as I didn't give the detailed tactics about how to get knowledge to stick in your mind. Being able to retain everything you learn is necessary for exams, and I figured out a method that helped me do that at med school to do well in my exams. So in this video here, I explain how to remember everything you study and make your study infinitely more efficient. So click the video to learn more.